Hey, it's Jodie here, and I want to tell you about our extra special promotion this month. The Ultimate Confidence Course for Women is going to temporarily close in December, so we can revamp and relaunch it in 2021, which will include a price increase. So if you're ready to take your confidence to the next level and start 2021 on a high, then this incredible offer is for you. For November only, we're offering an additional $100 off our course plus coaching package, which means you'll get the entire course plus 2 coaching sessions with me and lifetime access to this course and the new one. Go to the course page at risewomen.com to take advantage of this offer.
Welcome to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast, where you'll learn all the best tips, tricks, and practical techniques for building the confidence levels you've always wanted. With inspiring interviews, real-life examples, and game-changing insights, this podcast is for women who know that mastering the skill of confidence is one of the most important things they'll ever do.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Secrets of Confident Women. For those of you new to the podcast, my name is Jodie Bruce Clark. I'm an author, a speaker, a confidence coach, and together with my awesome business partner, Anastasia Adams, we run a business called Rise Women, which is dedicated to helping women learn practical confidence building techniques so that they can increase their confidence and do the amazing things they want to do in their lives. Now, firstly, I really want to thank every single one of you that has been listening to these podcasts and sharing them with other women in your life who you know will benefit them from them. We have had a truly amazing response to these episodes over the last few months, and we are just so thrilled with the awesome feedback we've been receiving. So truly, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, today I am so excited to be introducing you to Kerin Jarvis, an absolutely incredible woman that I've known for a few years now. So we met because Kerin ran a women's networking group in Sydney and I was on the speakers list. So she rang and booked me for a workshop to deliver to her members. But you know what? That moment was a true meeting of minds. And from there, Kerin did some coaching with me and was one of our first participants in our Ultimate Confidence course for women. Now, I have personally watched Kerin completely change her life, and I mean completely. She changed her relationship, her career, her living circumstances, and started a business in a matter of months and totally transformed her life. There are not many people that I know who would have had the courage to do what Kerin has done or be so dedicated to increasing their confidence to a level where they're almost unrecognizable. And that is why I knew she would be an incredible guest on this podcast and someone who I know is going to inspire so many of our listeners. I am incredibly grateful that she agreed to be here today to share her story. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Kerin Jarvis to today's episode.
Hello.
Welcome. Hello.
Thank you so much. That was lovely things that you've just said about me.
Well, absolutely. It's all
you.
true. And, we've been a little bit on this. I've sort of been on this journey a little bit with you, and it has been such a journey to watch and be a part of. So I can't wait for you to share your story. So let's get into it. Tell us.
Excited.
I know. I can't wait. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your background, career, business, etc. So our listeners can get a bit of an idea of you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I grew up on the Central Coast with a lovely beach lifestyle. I have 3 older brothers and a younger half sister. Lots of nieces and nephews. I've even got great nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
Godchildren, loads of family in England, which is a whole other story.
Yes.
I grew up doing competition ballroom dancing,
Wow.
salsa dancing. I even did a little bit of figure skating at one point.
Wow, that's something I didn't know about you.
Yeah. I love getting out on the weekends doing like hiking and paddle boarding and stuff like that. I love trying new activities and just being active and stuff like that. And 12 years ago, I discovered skiing and I've become a little bit obsessed with
Good,
it.
yes.
I really fell in love with that. So I've kind of planned my life this year around being near the snow.
Yeah, yeah,
So
you
it's
have.
kind of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, so then in terms of my career, so I started my career in the 90s in the city, in Sydney City, and I started in a really intensive admin traineeship with a financial planning firm. And they were really strict and they set me up really well with some really strong kick-ass admin skills.
Okay.
And then I worked for various large and small construction companies. And I did 14 years in public service. I was with WorkCover and Department of Defence. And I did all sorts of things like payroll, HR, work health safety, procurement, all sorts of things. And I got some really good experience over that time. But eventually I kind of became frustrated with the bureaucracy of it all. And I just really needed to run the show myself, to be
Yes.
honest. I'd learned so much that I wanted to try to apply it in more innovative ways. And so my ex and I decided to start our own business and we started an air conditioning company.
Okay, yep.
And I absolutely loved that. And I even got my hands dirty. I was working on site a day or two a week and, taping ducts in ceilings. And I was getting an idea of what it's really like using a hammer drill and all sorts of things. And I got an understanding of what it's like on site for tradies, which has been really helpful.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were doing really well. It was a very successful business. I loved it. But then unfortunately the marriage was very destructive and it was quite a toxic relationship and it was affecting my health very dramatically.
Yeah.
I developed an autoimmune illness and PTSD and anyway, I worked out over time that I really needed to leave that relationship to be well and have a good life. And I left no stone unturned in trying to save that marriage.
Yeah.
I feel really proud of that. But yeah, eventually, last May, I gained the courage eventually to leave that relationship. So I had to leave the business as well. But anyway, I just could see that was never going to change. And as much as I would have loved to stay, because there was a lot of things that I loved in that relationship, I definitely had to leave. So I got the courage and left, and I've totally transformed my life since then. Like you said, starting a new business, relocating and, all of that sort of thing. And you've been a big part of inspiring a lot of that change with all the coaching, which has been amazing. So, yeah, that's just a background, I guess, a summary of my life.
Yeah. And I've seen that because, obviously you were still in the air conditioning business when we met. You were working, you were, on the side, you were running a women's networking group and bringing women together. And that's sort of where we met. So, I've seen this whole journey of you, which is just, and again, which we're going to sort of talk about today, because I think there is so much, the courage you showed, but the challenges you overcame through that period and through these steps that you've taken, is something that I think a lot of women, a place that a lot of women will find themselves in, but also even if it's not completely that, I think that your story today will really help people see the options and that it is possible, what is possible.
Yeah, definitely.
So before we go into that, I want to get a sense of what does confidence or being a confident woman mean to you?
Confidence to me means loving the things that make you who you are.
Yeah.
And choosing lovingly to grow the things in yourself that you want to change. And I've noticed over the years that there's a big difference between confidence and arrogance. And I think confidence gets a bad rap sometimes. We've got all these arrogant people walking around.
Pretending. And people
pretending
sometimes
they're confident.
Yes, it is.
I'm just confident. No, really arrogant.
Yes, it does. There is a big difference.
Yeah. And so I think for me, arrogance is where people try to force everyone else to see their value. But confidence recognizes their own value, but
Yeah.
also recognize the value of other people as equal to theirs.
Yeah.
And so confidence for me is not walking around trying to like prove myself. It's just walking around, just recognizing that everyone is equal and we've all got
Yeah.
things to add to each other and learn and grow and
And
all
just
that sort of
being
thing.
yourself,
So,
isn't it? Just being
yeah.
who you are rather than trying to prove or get other people to
Mm.
see. Yeah, it's a great answer.
Yeah.
I haven't sort of heard it been put like that before, but it is. And you're right, arrogance does tend to the arrogance confidence line sometimes gets blurred.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not about that. That confidence is really that being okay on the inside and accepting who you are.
And I think, being able to, it's confidence, being able to work with people, live with people, socialize with people without it becoming a fight for the alpha position.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just being able to work together as a
for
team
sure.
sort of thing.
And when are you the most confident version of yourself then?
I feel really confident when I've just styled my hair freshly, got makeup on, I'm wearing nice
Me too.
clothes.
Yeah.
And I've done all that this morning just so that I feel confident as I talk,
Yes.
even though I'm in my home by myself.
Yes, I do that all the time. I talk about that all the time. I never, ever coach with slippers on. Like I would never, ever do that. And I think it's a lot of people have learned that recently, like converting to the home office and working a lot more working from home, that mindset can change by getting dressed, getting up and, maybe not putting a suit on, but getting at least ready for a day's work. It can change.
Yeah, definitely. It really changes my mood actually.
Yeah.
I can be feeling really low and think, oh, I'm terrible at everything. Everybody hates me or whatever. Put some makeup on, get my hair done, put some lipstick on, jewelry, and I'm like, right, I can take on the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and I feel really confident as well when I've been spending a lot of time with people who are really encouraging and uplifting, and people who are just moving forward and doing life and having a go.
I know. Aren't they great? Because it gives you that and they're just they're forward thinkers. They're looking out. They're not sort of caught up with the small things. They're not caught up with the whinging and carrying on. They're usually those people that are like, let's get on with this. And
exactly.
And there's challenges, of course, because that's just what it is. But yeah, we're the same. Anastasia and I both, we talk about that quite a bit, with just the people around us are the most important thing that keeps us moving forward. So in terms of obviously we've just, touched on that there was, a marriage breakdown. But with that came leaving your work. You had to give up or move out of the business as well. So what was the hardest thing to rebuild after your relationship breakdown? It was such a big life change. It was everything. You lost the relationship, the business, the your living circumstances,
family,
everything changed in one, which was such a big, life wall that you hit. So what was it after that, rebuilding that?
All of it was really hard. I've got to say, like the whole thing was just horrendous.
Yeah.
And really, really challenging. But hands down, the hardest thing to rebuild after leaving was my health.
Yeah.
So the stress over the years took a massive toll on me.
Yeah.
And women out there who are in very toxic relationships would know exactly what I'm talking about. It's very common to develop autoimmune illness when you're on in a stressful situation every single day of your life.
Yeah. Because your body's just doesn't want to can't cope with that sort of level of stress every day.
You're constantly in fight or flight mode, and that just takes a toll on your body. And so even to a year ago, I was unable to work. I just slept a lot, and I had a lot of swelling, like my face and neck and my hands and feet, and my legs were all swollen, and I had digestion problems and brain fog. Like I remember like sitting at my friend's house and not being able to follow the recipe that she was trying to cook. And so she just put a chopping board and a knife in front of me and gave me carrots.
Right.
I just chopped carrots.
Yeah.
I just couldn't actually get the cogs to turn in my brain. I just shut down.
Yeah.
I've heard it said that if you don't make time for your health, then your body forces you to make time for your illness.
Yes.
And so I had to take time off.
Yeah.
I needed to, because I had pushed my body for so long and I'd soldiered on through all this incredible amount of activity and trying to, keep up that, like, right, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm
Yes.
running my business, I'm socializing and saying everything's all right, and I'm
Yeah.
going to church and I'm doing this and I'm fine,
Yeah.
I soldiered on for so long and eventually I crashed.
Yes.
And so I had to take time off. Like, I've got Hashimoto's, endometriosis, adenomyosis, all this other stuff, and it's just my body just said, no more. You've actually got to stop. And so I spent a couple of months sort of pretty much in bed, and I went overseas for a few months and just sort of hung out. And when I moved out, I made the decision that I would do absolutely whatever it took to restore my health.
Yeah.
And like, so holistically, that's like all the components of my life being healthy, like physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional.
Yeah.
So I've been doing therapy with a psychologist, reading lots of self-help books. Like, I read that Brene Brown's Rising Strong,
Yes, fabulous.
which I loved, and I've read heaps of those sort of books. I've tried to build regular exercise into my schedule, which I regularly fail.
Yeah.
On that.
Yes, don't we all?
Yeah. And then, just going through with a naturopath and a nutritionist, doing a supplement routine, an anti-inflammatory diet, with like changing things regularly to adjust my hormone levels. So I'm doing everything possible naturally to help my body, support my body to actually heal properly.
Yeah.
Not just like, I don't want to take a tablet and I feel okay, but actually everything's still going on inside. I'm trying to support my body to rebuild. And
that's it, isn't it? It's a rebuilding process. Like, it was broken down to such a level that it is a step by step rebuild to support you for the future.
Yeah. And I'm going to be taking daily action for the rest of my life. I value my health.
Absolutely.
And there's all these things that I want to do in my life. And to do those things, I've got to have a healthy body and mind.
Absolutely.
And I've been learning about affirmations, which I know you love.
Yes, I do.
And how the vagus nerve is this channel that sends the positive or negative things that you say into your body to change the cellular structure of your body. And how affirmations and changing the story that you tell and saying positive things and thinking positive things actually causes your cells in your body to heal.
Yeah. I know there's so much amazing research coming out that's just, I know, it's mind-blowing. The more technology and the more information we get around these things and the more studies that they can do to really find that level of, through a medical science part, it's really, I've been doing them for, maybe 30 years now, since I was sort of 12, 14, where I was given those books and I know they work because I can feel it, but there was never the science really backing it up of what what there is now. Amazing.
No, that's right.
There's you've put in so much work to get yourself back on track, and building your confidence has been part of that. So what did you learn about your confidence and how you felt about yourself from while you're trying to rebuild after the relationship breakdown?
Well, I learned that I'm very resilient, and I've got more in me, or more of a strong constitution than what I thought.
Yes.
And that all the challenges that I've faced, they haven't broken me.
No.
Even the devastating infertility challenges and everything that I've gone through hasn't broke me. I've actually learned and grown through that. And I've found that I've got such a great support network, and that I can use that, and that I've got so many beautiful friends that will just hold me in those times, and I come out the other side. So I'm just so much more resilient than what I thought. And it's also like caused me to sit and reflect on who I am, and really and start to actually love the person that I am,
Yes.
rather than just kind of like soldier on. I
Yeah,
think I'm all
yeah.
right.
And it's
Yeah.
I think it's such a theme that when in toxic relationships and these that do break you down, they break you, you know, physically, as you've said, to you know, the body starts developing illness and things like that because of the stress and the fight and flight response. But it also, you know, we work with a lot of women that have been their confidence has been eroded to a level that's just so hard to get out of.
Yeah, mine was.
And they've been, you know, told things and they start believing those things, and all this sort of stuff really breaks down that confidence. And it's trying to really, that's one of the areas that really needs to be rebuilt. Which you know, I saw you do. It was just such an amazing. You were so committed to that process because you knew that had to be, you know, as you know, it had to be part of the foundation, just like your health is the foundation. That inner mindset and love of yourself and knowing yourself as a resilient, strong, confident woman was the foundation you needed to be able to rebuild this this new life on top of.
Yeah, and just discovering that each challenge I could come back out the other side. And I think a lot of the things that I learned, even in those early sessions with you with the networking group, I remember you saying, you know, challenging that you've got to become comfortable with the idea of fear and comfortable with trying things that make you scared and just doing them. And so, you know, all those early seeds just kind of, you know, kept developing and building and gave me what I needed over time to.
Oh, there was no doubt we were supposed to meet at that day.
I know, kindred spirits.
I know, we were supposed to. You were ready to fly, and it was like,
so ready.
You know, turned up with some nuggets of gold that could help you start seeing a different way for yourself, which is amazing. And what things still now challenge you? You've been out of the marriage for
been out for probably a year and a half.
A year and a half. Sorry, it was last May. That's right.
Half.
And so what things do you still find that challenge? What are you still working on, and what does still challenge your confidence after, you know, even after all this time?
Oh, it's really hard now going into a new relationship.
Okay.
Navigating that is very scary.
Yes.
I've decided to take the risk because I think it's worth it.
Great.
I really want to put my heart out there and have put my heart out there to risk it being broken again.
Yeah.
But I've chosen to do that because I'd rather put my heart out there than keep it walled off and hidden and protect myself.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got a lot of love inside and I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to share it and I want to take risks and I want my world to become bigger. I don't want my world to be small and scary. I want to have enriched experiences and, you know, try relationship skills and you know, and I know that sometimes like some of those things that I try won't work out or that things might go wrong and then I might get my heart broken, but I still choose to risk my heart. And a big challenge probably in that is realizing that every person is unique and different and just choosing to believe that and refuse to tie every man with the same brush.
Yes.
Yeah. And
but you've built who you've built now is a complete who you've built now though is a completely different woman than you know, so it's and I know it's hard because there's hurt and there's you know all this trauma from previous, but you know, I've seen you really step in and you know you're obviously part of our course Facebook group, so there's lots of sharing in there and the women in there that just, you know, and I remember one time you came on and shared that, you know, and you said, look, I've just realized I'm a really great catch. And it was like so empowering. And there were so many comments. All the women in there were like, yes, because, you know, there's many women in there going through similar thing or, you know, trying to navigate this, again, the relationship thing. But to have that outlook and to just believe in that is such a powerful place to come from, Kerin. Like that's, and that was so inspiring for everyone in the group. It was just fabulous.
Thank you.
So that's who you're stepping into now as into a new relationship, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Only a year or two ago, I was like, oh, no one's ever going to love me
I
again.
know.
No one's going to love me. I'm broken. I'm ruined.
That's right.
I'm sad. And, you know.
And you can't step into a successful future from that place.
That's right.
So the
Yeah.
work you've done to get to actually, I've actually used that with there was another lady I was working with coaching, and I told her, that phrase, and she was like, oh my God, I love that. Like stepping into just going, I'm a really great catch. Like, and it's just from that place you can be authentic and positive and in that, a powerful place to start something new and be in a new relationship that is loving and amazing and nurturing and all those things. But from that broken, nobody's going to love me place, that's not a great place to go from into something new.
Yeah, it's a terrible place to start a relationship.
Yeah.
But I just now say to myself, going into a relationship, it's like I'm a really great catch and I've got a lot to give and a lot to offer this person, and they'd be lucky to be with me.
Yes.
I
love it.
They should be falling over themselves to get a date with me.
That's right.
I just say things like that to myself.
Yeah. That's right. But it builds
really
you up,
think
and
that I'm a good catch.
Yeah, you are. My goodness, you are. You're awesome. And what was the turning point? So now we're getting back. So now we've gone through. You left the marriage, you left your living situation, you left the business that you were with your husband, ex-husband. You went overseas for almost like a bit of a sabbatical and were trying to sort of clear your head, and we did a bit of coaching before that, I remember, setting yourself up for that. And then you came back and you decided to start your business. And so what was the turning point where you just thought, I'm going to back myself here and start this business instead? I know there was like moments we've had conversations about, do I get a job? Do I how do I navigate this? And then you just like put a stake in the ground and went, you know what? I'm doing it. So what was that? What was that moment? What was that turning point?
Well, my confidence was pretty low when I was overseas, and I was running all these options about what to do. And I was thinking, I just probably need to get a job, work in the city, like get some money behind me and start putting things in place for this business, because I had this great business idea. I was like, I could totally make a business out of all the things I loved about running the aircon business and all the things I loved in all the jobs before.
Yeah.
I thought I could make a business out of that. I know how valuable it was to my ex to have me behind the scenes running everything.
Yes.
So that he could just do all the work
and
not think about it, because he wasn't even wired for doing the admin, and most tradies aren't. And I sort of think about how, I'm not wired for gardening, and and when I was thinking about this before, I was like, it's sort of like how you're not wired to make cauliflower rice.
Oh, my cauliflower rice story. I know. Cooking, and cooking in general, I'm not wired for.
Yeah, because like I don't even want to do gardening. No. I don't want to be good at gardening. I don't like it. I don't care that I'm not good at it. I'm a black thumb. I'll just pay someone else to do it.
That's right.
And I sort of think, that's what a lot of tradies are like. I'm sure they could learn how to do it, but they don't want to. So I thought, I can do that for them and earn money from it. And so I had this great idea, but I just didn't have confidence about being able to do it at that point.
Yeah.
And then so I hired a professional resume writer, got that looking really slick, and I started going out on job interviews and getting put forward for jobs by these recruitment agencies. And my heart sank every time I would get a phone call for being put forward for something. I was like, oh, I've got to go into the
telltale
city
sign,
on the train and work with people that I might not like, and they might be bitchy, or maybe I won't get to do anything innovative or creative or fun or try new things. And I don't know, I just thought, what's this going to be like? I'm going to get stuck in a job that I don't even like. I don't know. And then anyway, you and I had a coaching call and talked through all my options, and I went through all my crazy ideas. I remember saying, oh, you know what, maybe I should just buy an apartment, a really crummy apartment, and just renovate it and start my business and get a job and do all that. And you're like, hang on a minute.
I remember that coaching call well.
I was bored, actually. I remember being very, very bored, which was a really good sign, because I was ready to work, you know.
You were.
And And so I just remember talking through everything with you and going, you know what? I've got to back myself.
Yeah.
And you pointed out to me that I'll regret not trying.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it's okay because I tried.
Yes.
And it's scary, yes, but I know that I've got the skills. And you pointed out that it's nothing new for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually all the things I've already done.
Yeah.
And I've already got a network. And and I'm just going to regret trying. And I just thought through all that. I was like, that's so true. Like,
Yeah.
I should totally just try it.
Yes.
And I've got savings, so I can
Yeah.
live off that for a while. And it's worth spending that
Yeah.
money to have a go.
Because sometimes
And
we get
so,
consumed by how it won't work. But I think that
mm,
day we just talked through a lot around what will work, what could work,
what will work?
and it's starting to change that perception, and you started to shift your view of what was possible, and that's what it opened up something that was like, yeah, actually I do have these skills. I do have this network. I can do this. And when we're consumed by the negative and that brain goes into meltdown going, you're never going to be able to do this and it's too hard and all the rest, which it wants, which we're wired to do. It's being able to push through that and actually go, no, actually I can do it.
Yeah, and when I realized actually, like, I can do it, I've got the resources, I've got the time, and
You had everything.
I would really
absolutely
regret
had everything.
not trying it.
Yeah.
And I went, I've just got to
Go
do
for
this.
it.
And so I rang up the agencies and I said, oh, can you just take me off the books and don't put me forward for anything new? I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to back myself and start my business. And they were like, what?
I know.
And, I kind of felt like really irresponsible. I was like, I've just had 3 months overseas doing nothing. And now I've told people, oh, sorry, I don't want a job.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. I'm literally mental. But no, it was really exciting.
And it's all worked out because you started your business. It's gone gangbusters.
Yes.
You're now fully employed, full time in your own business, running your own show with your own money, and it's just all worked out because because you did back yourself and you just believed, and you did all the work, and you needed that 3 months off first to you needed that. Like all the steps you've taken were the right steps that had to make this into what it is now.
And it was a lot of action in the start. Like once I started taking action, within a few weeks I had everything set up, ready to launch behind the boots, which I love my business name and I love my logo. I love my business so much. But I was just about ready to get the word out, and the pandemic hit.
Yeah, I know.
And then I was like, oh, I feel a bit stupid now. Just like, I started a business and the pandemic's hit. And then I just had this thought and I was like, I want my story to be that I started and grew a business in the middle of a global pandemic.
Yeah. What a great
And I just thought
positive.
That would be cool. I'm just going to make it happen. And so I was set up at this little desk in my friend's spare room where I was living with a little single bed, and me and my laptop in this little room. And I was like, right, this is happening. And so I just got on the phone and I went onto every online networking group I could find. I started collaborating with people that were experts in the trade industry. I collaborated with a friend who's a marketing expert, and we did videos and we put them out there, and I posted on every Facebook group I could find. And I remember doing a cold calling challenge for 2 weeks that you set for me, which I hated.
Oh, yes, we all hate those.
It sucks.
It was just pushing you through again to that believing that you could do this. It was those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was getting me used to doing difficult things that I had to do to try to get the word out there. And before I knew it, I had my first customer.
Yeah.
And then I had my next customer. And then it just sort of kept developing. And then because I was referring all these customers to my previous bookkeeper, he offered me a job. And so I'm working for Evolution Cloud Accounting, and I love working with them. They're amazing. I'm very proud of being on board with them. And it's just become this really symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
So I worked with him for a few years as a customer, and he trained me to do all my bookkeeping. And so because we'd had that history together, we really trust each other and we know that we're aligned in the way that we work together.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just become this great symbiotic relationship where we refer to each other. And so, I'm able to do the admin and the bookkeeping for my customers. And, it's really been this fantastic just domino effect of once I went, right, I'm backing myself, everything's kind of fallen into place.
Yeah.
And miraculously, as I've had more capacity for work, I've gotten an extra customer at that time.
Yeah,
Or,
great.
just as I found the place to live in Jindabyne, I got the job with Evolution Cloud Accounting, and it's right when I had an office to set up in.
Yes.
And everything's kind of just magically come together for me,
Yeah.
like roll out the red carpet, Kerin,
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
And,
but it's you put because you kept moving into action. That's we talk about action all the time. I'm always banging on, just go get it, just do something. But because you were looking for places in Jindabyne and they weren't right, and you were doing, and it was like it's action and moving forward. That then things seem to magically appear, but that's because you're in action. That's because you're moving forward. We can't just sit at home and hope to goodness that it all knocks on our door. It doesn't. It actually, it magically appears as such because we're out there. We're out there moving forward and putting yourself pushing. And I remember you pushing through the fear and still questioning, do I move? And how do I go into this?
Oh my gosh.
All those
so
questions.
Scared.
But because you did back yourself, then is it magic? It feels like it, but that's because we forget about
all the action
that we took, the week or the month or the year before to get us to that point.
I know, it's like 3 or 4 months back and forth to Jindabyne, looking at places, and then calling my friends in tears. Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should move. What if,
know.
this, what if that? And then I just found this little townhouse just out of the blue, this 2-bedroom townhouse that I'm in now with a home office upstairs looking over the lake. And I just, as soon as I found it, I felt peace. And I was like, that is definitely the right thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely where I've got to be. And then within 2 weeks, I was down here.
Yeah.
And all my 4 engineers helping me move.
Yeah.
I was in, and I set up my office, and I started working straight away in this beautiful office. And I just have never looked back. I love it. And, and like you said, it's all like these bold decisions and these scary decisions, and going through all these actions with gritted teeth, going, oh my gosh, is this going to work? But just going, well, I've got to try. If it doesn't work, I'll just try the next thing.
Yeah.
And I just take daily action and just keep trying things until it works.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's just, I know. And to watch you go through this, because I know there was so many challenging times, but you did just keep pushing through. And we had, we had to have some hard conversations at one point through the coaching and different things, because you were holding a lot of resentment towards your ex at that time, because you were still separating, like you were still moving, dealing with the grief of that and the stepping away from that, as well as trying to, be inspirational and move forward and take it on, So there was a lot of ups and downs for you, but you just didn't give up. You just did not give up.
No, I don't want to give up, and I won't ever.
No.
It's been like a real up and down year, and like I'm talking, like you said, I'm talking about all the things that I've done to transform my life and have this great life now. But it was really hard. There was a lot of difficulty, a lot of hard decisions and hard work and crying and down days and all that to get through, but I just kept getting back up.
But the life that you've now created for yourself is just is amazing, and that's all that work and all that pain. We have to go through that sometimes to get to something that the place we need to be, or the place we should be, and that's what you did. And what do you think was the most game-changing insight that you got from doing the coaching series?
Definitely. The most game-changing insight for me was changing the story, learning to change my story. And, you talked about, like you just mentioned, that resentment that I had for my ex and the situation I was in. And that was something that, we worked through at the start of the year on some coaching calls. And because I was running this story of resentment and it's not fair, like I was saying to myself all the time, and it was really getting me down. I was saying it's not fair that I have to start over, and it's not
Yes.
fair I had to leave my business. And I
Yeah.
helped build that business from scratch, and I loved it. And now I've just had to walk away, and I had to move out of my dream home, and I had to put my things in storage. And it's
Yeah.
not fair that I've gone from having my own company to just like not even knowing what I'm going to do, and
Yeah.
I don't even have a car or don't know where I'm going to live. And I've had to let go of my dream of having children, and like this is just like so unfair. Like he just gets to stay in the same house and keep
Yeah.
running the business, and ship someone else in to do all this stuff for him.
Yeah.
Like there's no difference, and it's just like it's not fair. And I was really angry, and I was grieving, obviously, but
Yes.
I was totally committed to that story of being this victim who was like hard done by, and it wasn't fair, and it was just sucking the life out of me.
Yeah.
And but I remember having that coaching session with you and telling you all about it, and then you asked me, was it serving me and taking me in a positive direction by telling this story and running this resentment through all the time. And I just remember you explaining that if I could change the story that I was telling myself, it would take me on a different path.
Yeah.
And send me in a different direction with positive actions.
Yeah. Well, there was no power. You had no power in the story. In the place you were, there was no power. You were defeated.
That's right. Yeah, I was just like, poor me, and I was stuck.
Yeah.
And so you explained to me that my brain would believe whatever I would tell it.
Yes.
So I might as well make
sounds
it
like me.
good. I just love it when you say you get these little phrases and you say it and it just goes bam.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And so, when I realized, okay, if my brain's going to believe whatever I tell it and I can make it good, then I can tell it something different. And you validated what I was saying about my story was true, that it really wasn't fair and it really was a terrible situation, and it was okay that I felt that way. But then we talked through an alternate truth for me. And so you and I drew out what the alternate truth was, which was that actually I'm so proud of myself for being brave to leave my marriage when I knew I had to, because I didn't even necessarily want to, but I knew that I had to, and it was very brave because I had a fear of the unknown. So well done to me.
Yeah.
I had learned an incredible amount of skills during my marriage.
Yeah.
I could drive a boat, reverse a trailer, run a company, use a hammer drill.
Yes.
I learned like conflict management skills, and I had in that time I'd gotten diplomas and certificates and got heaps of experience, and I had
you were running a women's networking group. You were drawing people together. You were stepping into leadership roles. You were just there was all these other parts to
other
what
things.
you could look at.
Yeah, and I had an amazing support group and friends and finances. So I realized that day that I had options, and I had an opportunity, quite a unique opportunity to make my life whatever I wanted it to be.
Yes.
And so I could let go of that resentment and instead just choose to be grateful that I had choice and freedom. And it was just so empowering.
Yeah.
And then you reminded me that while I had resentment for my ex, that he had power over me, but if I let that go, then he didn't have any power over my life, which was really cool. So I took the power back, and I chose the alternate truth.
You did, and it was so. And I remember us setting a goal. I remember us looking into your future. And you were talking about, I want to look over the beach, and I want to have a home office and have this, view of the water, and remember we had that conversation where you were like, you're up on your balcony yelling down at the people walking past going, I'm smashing it. We created this brand new world that you could step into, but you could see it, but you could see that was really that was actually in reach for you. That was actually something you could create. And this is why you're so inspiring, and this is why it's so, oh my God, it's been so unbelievable to watch you be part of this journey with you, because everything you and I talked on that day and looked at for your future, you've now created.
I know.
I don't know if you've got a
pretty
balcony and
amazing.
you're yelling down at people walking past, but you've got a home office, a business. You've created. You look over the water from your office. All those things that you created, and you are smashing it. Whether you're yelling it from the balcony, I don't know, but you should be. So you can. But
well, I look out over Lake Jindabyne from my home office, and I've got balustrades at the top of the staircase. That so it feels like a balcony. So I look out over Lake Jindabyne, and I can see the walking track that I envisioned in that image that we created.
Yeah.
And I can yell out the window, "I'm smashing it!"
I love it. But you it was that vision. It was the news. It was the new world pulling you forward. It was the new vision that pulled you forward to go. And then you saw that everything in the marriage actually gave you all the skills to be able to create this dream life. And that's exactly what you've done, almost like even to the point of looking out over the water. Like it's just,
I know,
it's just so great. But you did that. You've like really, you made that happen. You saw what was possible, and you made that happen.
And I couldn't even summon up that story of resentment anymore if I tried. No. I just feel totally different now.
Yeah.
If I had to say that old story, it wouldn't feel true.
No. And what was being part? Then you joined the or you probably throughout this you joined the confidence course. And what's been the biggest part of that? What did that help you? Then
the confidence course was amazing. The videos are so professional, Jodie. You're amazing. I love it.
I had a good videographer that day.
You see a lot of these video courses out there, and they're sort of, I don't know, they're not as good. Yours is really good.
Thank you. We tried hard.
But they're short, and so for me, knowing that I can just go and do a module, might be 10, 15 minutes, and do a little exercise.
Yeah.
I know I can fit it in. I don't feel overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, I've got to go and do this hour video or something.
No.
It's not like that. Every single video gets straight to the point, nuggets of gold. And there's always a learning point with a little action to take.
Yeah.
So that has really helped me, because every time I've got to go, oh, okay, so how will I apply that?
Yeah.
And so it's not just rah, go out there and be confident. It's, okay, here's this tool for your toolbox that you can actually use and do in your life. And it was really cool being overseas. My friend and I both purchased the confidence course, and we'd watch the video separately, and then we'd organise a Zoom once a week, and we'd Zoom from other sides of the globe with a cup of tea, and we'd talk about what we learned in the confidence course.
Yeah, awesome.
And how we're going to apply it. Yeah. So it was a really cool way to connect.
Teach so much accountability too, and to talk through those things with someone it really advances that learning and embeds what you do. Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. I know. And you've been so as part of the Facebook group, you've really stepped into being a leader in that group, and someone who does get in and authentically shares and inspires others. So it's been so amazing to have you as part of the course. And that's why we wanted the Facebook group too, because it's, we want that place for people to go, I'm trying this, and I did this, and I'm stepping into this, and this is what, it created. And you've been so integral in keeping keeping that and inspiring other women in the group to just take stuff on and step into their courage as well. So
thank you.
It's been so awesome having you part of the group. So
it's a very inspiring group.
It is. It's. I love being in there. Sometimes Anastasia and I go, maybe we just created this for us, because it helps us get on with what we've got to do too, right? Seeing everyone, create this amazing things in their life. So what was been the best practice that you've discovered that has helped you to increase your self-confidence again?
Facing fears is probably the best thing.
It's such a game changer. Oh my God, that module is such a game changer. I hear that all the time.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
because just that concept of getting comfortable with fear, because actually, then you can do it again
Yes.
and not be quite as scared and realize that you actually don't have to be stopped by your fear. It's just a feeling.
Yes.
And you go, okay, I feel the feeling. Okay,
Yeah.
then I do the action. Oh, I'm still okay, and
Yeah.
then your world gets bigger. And that's the thing that I've learned mostly, is that every time I do something that I'm afraid of, my world gets bigger. And that's something I run in my mind. If I'm afraid of something, oh, my world will get bigger. Just do it. And I just remember testing that out when I cut my hair short.
Yes.
And because I was not very confident back then. I was still in my marriage and I had this long hair down to my elbows, and I just had always wanted to cut my hair, and I was too scared because I didn't know what it would feel like or look like. It was that fear of the
Yeah.
unknown. And I know it's just hair, and so it sounds a bit silly, but to be
Oh, it
honest, that was
doesn't
quite a
though.
big deal for me.
For sure.
And so I thought to myself, if I can cut my hair short and learn to style my hair differently and deal with that change, then I might be able to feel more comfortable making bigger changes.
Yes.
And so I went to the hairdresser, teeth gritted, freaking out. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm so scared.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of excited, and I was a bit dreading and, all that. But then he cut it all off, and I just absolutely loved it. I was like, this
Yeah.
is the best thing I've ever done.
Yes.
And then I quickly learned to style it. And now, I just absolutely love my hair and how it makes me feel. And I got this feeling of hope at the time, just knowing that I had pushed through past the fear of the unknown, and I was happy with the change. And so I formed a new neural pathway that day.
Yeah.
And then I kept looking for opportunities to try new things that would open up my world and prove that I could handle change. And then, eventually that led to having the courage to leave my marriage and walk into the unknown and completely change my life. But I had to start with, I can cut my hair. I can
which wasn't small. It's small
change
steps.
my moisturizer.
Yeah, it's small steps, but it is big. They're big when you haven't gone through change. When you haven't faced fears for a long time, the smallest fear, even when I speak to women and they just want to ask a question in a meeting and things like that, getting over those hurdles are the small things, but they're big at the time for the individual.
Yeah.
But the more you do those, the bigger you can take these things on, and the bigger your life becomes, and the
Each
more
one gets harder.
Absolutely. And it's like you cut your hair that eventually gave you the courage to start your business. That's
exactly,
they're the links that we want to help people believe and understand that it
is 100% true.
Yeah.
And even skiing, learning to stand at the top of a steep hill that was too steep for me, but going, okay, I'm scared. I'm just going to snowplow down, and then at least I've done it.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
But then I get to the bottom. Oh yes, I did it, and I'm still alive. And then I kept pushing, and every season, and this season, every day that I was there, I was like, right, okay, that's really been too steep for me for a long time. Can't wait to try it. Look at me. I'm looking down the hill. I'm scared. Yay, I'm so happy I'm scared.
Yes.
So I've just become
it's a completely different relationship with fear, isn't it?
Of challenge.
Yeah. And that's what that's what, because it does open up your world when you can go, oh my God, here's that feeling again. I'm scared, but that must mean it's good. And obviously we're not talking about fear of in danger. We're talking about fear in challenge and stepping outside our comfort zone. But you took all again. It's just cutting your hair and making that big change, which is for going from hair elbow hair length to a really short cut is a big. It's a big change.
It was a big change. But I'm just so glad that I did that, and then I'm so glad that you taught me about just facing fears over and over and over again and getting comfortable with that, because then you can face the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And you've kind of practiced facing them, so you know that you can do it.
And that's
you can't start with the big changes.
Yeah, it's always the game changer for any of our clients, or through we hear through the coaching course. It's like once women get what they go, oh, what do you mean? Fear's not going away. It's like, no, duh. It's not going away. And they're like, oh, you've got to feel more fear. And they're like, oh, it's just, I see that the light bulb goes on to go, oh my God, I've been waiting for it to go away, and then I was going to start my life, but it's never going to go away. Like, you actually you've got to walk through it. So
So
it
true.
is, it's a game changer. Oh, I'm oh my God, this is the best conversation. I've seen so much of your journey, and you're like this model client that I've had that's just taken everything on and learned all the, stepped in, and you are just going to be which you already do in our group, take on this leadership role of actually teaching women and sharing this with other women and sharing that inspiration, because people will be inspired by the courage you've had. And that's that's your new role in the world, to share that, which has started by you sharing your story today. So I'm going to move into our final power questions.
Okay.
So what do you wish every woman knew?
I wish everyone knew how to detect a lie.
Geez, that would be good. We wouldn't be able to watch TV, let me tell you.
There'd be no good. Politicians would not succeed.
No, exactly.
But truly, what I do wish is that all women knew that there is another option other than staying in a destructive relationship.
Oh, yes.
I wish that all women knew that they could definitely survive without that person.
Yeah.
And that they could have a wonderful life away from the drama of a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And when you're in it, it's hard to imagine that you could ever live without that other person.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's hard for people in healthy relationships to understand that, but you form a trauma bond in a toxic relationship. And that's why it's so hard to leave. People say, why don't they just leave? Well, actually, no, it's very, very hard to leave.
Yes,
so
it is.
I wish I could snap my fingers and all women in traumatic relationships would suddenly know for a fact that they could definitely have a better life out of the relationship, and they could definitely heal from it, and that they could heal so far that they would no longer even identify as a broken person.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be just the transformation of the world? Like, it's just for us to not accept that those relationships are okay, and for women to get out of those. And it's small steps. It's starting for them to rebuild their confidence, and it's starting for that for them as exactly the story, exactly what you did, to take those steps towards getting yourself ready and a sense of yourself back, so that you were ready to make that choice for yourself. And it's a long process.
And I really want to support and encourage women in those situations. And there's a charity that I'm going to align with in the future that does that.
Yeah.
And I would love to be able to support women, whether they're going to stay or go. That's 100% their choice. But I'd love to be able to support those women in those situations,
for sure,
to love themselves, care for themselves, build themselves up, and get some confidence in whatever their decision is.
Yeah. I know. Amazing. Can't wait to see what you create out of that, my friend.
Thank you.
Now, what is your superpower?
My superpower is taking chaos and turning it into a beautiful, peaceful, organised situation.
Oh, awesome. You're in the right job then.
I know. I get really excited when I get my hands on someone's mess. And and then I'm like, right. And then I straighten it all out. And then I just do like such an excited, happy dance when it's all nice. But like I totally cross people's boundaries all the time over this.
Exactly.
So I've had to learn boundaries to not go, right, I'm going to fix everything. Oh, your life is chaos. Let me take care of that.
Oh, that's so funny.
But so anyway, now I've worked out how to make a business out of this superpower and get paid for the joy of reorganizing.
Yes,
so
I know.
Charging out my superpower at an hourly rate.
Fabulous.
Makes me get a lot of joy.
Yeah. Follow what you're good at. Follow what you're good at.
Yeah.
Now, heels or flats?
Ski boots and thongs.
You are a good skier. You just loved it. It's again, you found that, and it's just gone from strength to strength, hasn't it? You just found your
Yes.
place. So ski boots, fair enough.
And thongs. I wear thongs everywhere if I can.
Yes.
I love wearing thongs, but I'll put on pretty heels if I go out to dinner.
Yeah. Your now who inspires you and why?
You inspire me.
Oh,
Definitely,
thank you.
Jodie. You have this knack of drawing out of me this desire to be my absolute best self.
Yeah.
And you have an amazing, positive, bold vibe, and it's completely contagious. And whenever I talk to you and I'm around you, I just want to be better, and I want to be vibrant and live my life. I want to go forward and get into it,
Oh,
so
that's
you
awesome.
always inspire me massively. And I have this beautiful friend, Beth, who inspires me. She has overcome the most unbelievable challenges over the years. And in the process of going through those challenges, she's become an absolutely beautiful person. And I'm always inspired by her kindness, humility, courage, resilience, and she never judges, and she's been an amazing support to me. And so I'm always looking to people like that for my inspiration.
Yeah.
People that have done things that a certain way, and I think, oh, I want to try doing things the way they did it, because that was just beautiful. The way they handled that, I'd like to be more like that. So yeah.
And your favorite quote or rule to live by?
Okay, my favorite quote is something I've learned from you. I have everything I need to be able to handle any situation I face.
Oh, that's so powerful. I mean, what a great rule to live by, hey? It's just changes our whole perception of what is possible.
Yeah, just knowing I've got this.
Yeah, exactly. And the final question, finish this sentence. If I had even more confidence than I do now, I would...
Oh, this was so hard. I thought a lot about this because, I not much phases me now.
Yeah.
And I face things all the time now that I'm not confident about. But for me, the massive challenge in confidence is having a child. And it's been a really painful journey trying to have children, which obviously it hasn't worked yet. But if I had the confidence to know that if I tried again that it would work, that I wouldn't have a 12th failed IVF attempt, that it wouldn't end in miscarriage, or, that I wouldn't have to raise it alone, or, any of that, then I would try again. And like, if I had the confidence that I would be able to raise a child on my own, or that I would be able to foster a child and handle it, then I would try it. I would do that, But I just have a lot of fears about that. Everything about it is scary, and the wounds from that journey are quite strong. So I still sort of have the door a little bit open to that. And I don't know if down the track I'm going to decide, okay, look, I'm just going to try. But that is for me next level confidence and next level scary. And I've fully embraced a life without children. And I know it's going to be a wonderful life without children. But if I had confidence to try and have a child, and then that was successful, I would happily give up a lot of those things that make a childless life good. And I would love to have a child. So who knows what my future will bring.
And I think, look, and thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being so open about that, because it's so courageous of you to say that, and to I'm sure there's many women out there who are in the same position, and I think and it can be a choice of living without children, or as you said, going through the challenge and the everything that you need to open that door a little bit wider. I guess all I know of you, Kerin, is that, and maybe it's a step-by-step process like you've done, and that's, maybe that decision can't be made this year or can't be made exactly now, but, what you...
learning to look after myself right now.
Yes, but what you create, and the tenacity and the unbelievable focus that you have. I have no doubt that you can create anything you want in your life. And so I hope, whatever you decide, well, it's not even I hope, I know that whatever you decide from that point will turn out to be exactly the way you want it to be. So, amazing. Well, I do want to say thank you for your courage to come on and share your story on this podcast. I do know that it will make an incredible impact on our listeners. And you know what? I'm just so proud of you and the life that you've created for yourself. Oh, I can feel myself getting choked up.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, goodness.
That's lovely.
Wow.
Oh,
that's never happened on the episode before.
Oh, I think it's just made you cry.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just I've just been part of this journey. I've seen you, and you do inspire. The amount of courage you have, and what you've gone through, and what you've created is just. It's like it's having clients like you that make me push through the tough times in my business, because I see the impact that our work has on women's lives, and when they really step in and make it happen, that you're just this superstar client that just took on everything, and I'm just so proud of who you are and what you've done. And
thank you so much.
It's just been such an honor and a privilege to be part of that. So
thank you so much. That's beautiful. And I really appreciate you so much. You've been an amazing impact in my life. You've just influenced me so much. And without all the things that you've taught me, who knows what my journey would have looked like. I don't know. I can't believe how much I've learnt from you and where that's taken me. And you do have a really important role in this world, and I'm just so grateful to know you. We just want all women to be able to have the courage to do what you've done, and that's part of the mission that we, as I said, when we push through the tough days in business, of which there are many. There are, yeah.
And, we met at the right time, and it was, the message you were ready to hear, but you took everything, and we're just providing information and inspiration and, those nuggets of gold, but it's actually, it's up to the person to take that on and turn it into what the life that they have. So, it's I might have been there at the right time with the right information for you to hear it at the right, at the right point in your life, but you've taken it and made it.
Thank you.
Made everything, and you deserve everything. You deserve every happiness.
Thank you. And thank you so much for giving me a voice today. I feel so grateful to be able to share some of the things in my story.
Yeah.
I feel like you go through really difficult things and come out the other side, and for someone to give you a voice to be able to share that, it makes it feel like it was important.
It is important, and it's important for other women to hear it. It is, because you're going to do great things. There's more for you. There's more to come for you. With helping other women, with being this leader, with just all the inspiration you already do, even as part of our group. But I know that's gonna grow bigger for you, and that's exactly who you're supposed to be. I love it.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to everyone. I know, it's been so good. We love doing these. I can't understand why I haven't done these work, because I've always wanted to talk into a microphone for the majority part of my life, but we didn't. But now we do. And thank you to everyone for listening today. And please remember to subscribe to this podcast and, leave us a rating and a review. And it makes such a difference to us to get our message out to the women in the world that we want to reach, and gets us one step closer to us achieving our mission of making making confidence every woman's new normal. So if there are women that or people that you know that need to hear these messages, please share our podcast, and please share our work, so that we can increase this vibration in the world. Or, you can head over to risewomen.com and look up all the resources and programs that we have that can help you build your confidence. And until next time, remember, with confidence, anything is possible. Bye for now.